Hey wrestling fans, welcome to another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I am your host Lance Brock, as always, back with another episode for October 27th, 2021, episode 268. And on this episode, I just want to talk about the big breaking news that came out today about Ring of Honor wrestling. First, it came out from Ring of Honor. They announced that they were going to go on a hiatus at the end of this year after Final Battle pay-per-view, and then that starting in January 2022, they would take the break, the hiatus, whatever you want to call it, for the first quarter of the year till April. And then they would come back with Super Card of Honor. But just a little bit after that news came out, some more news came out that they were releasing the entire roster from their contracts. And when I read that, I saw something about, I don't remember, it might have been from the Ringside News app, I believe. I could be wrong, but it might have been the Ringside News. Said something about there being a rumor about Sinclair Broadcasting, the parent company of Ring of Honor, cutting it. I mean, who knows? I think it's kind of too soon to speculate about anything like that just yet, because who knows? But apparently every wrestler in Ring of Honor right now is a free agent because they were released from their contracts. And I don't know what that means, is if like when or if they do come back in April, they'll have new contracts. Because, let's see here. I should have had this prepared already, but let's see if I can find the statement that Ring of Honor put out earlier. Okay, I got it. And this is the official statement that was posted on all of Ring of Honor's social media earlier. Throughout the pandemic, our top priority was to keep everyone healthy and safe, and despite not producing any live events over 18 months, we were able to keep everyone fully contracted. We now find ourselves at a time where we need to make changes to our business operations and are planning a pivot for Ring of Honor with a new mission and strategy. The year will culminate with a final battle in December, and we will be taking the first quarter of 2022 to work internally to reimagine ROH. ROH has the most dedicated fans in the industry, and we appreciate their loyalty and patience as we reconceptualize ROH. We anticipate returning to live events in April for the Super Card of Honor with a new fan-focused product and provide a unique experience for wrestling fans. So that was the official statement from Ring of Honor Wrestling. It was on all their social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And then, like I said, it was reported about the roster being released. And I've even seen on one video on YouTube, this guy, I forget the name of the channel, I apologize, or I would give him credit, but he said that he already started asking the question about, with all this happening, is there a possibility of Ring of Honor possibly being purchased by either WWE or AEW? Honestly, like I said before, it's a little too early to speculate about that, in my opinion. Who knows, but I think it's just a little too early to be starting talking about WWE buying it, AEW buying it, or anybody buying it for that matter. But let's just say if that was a possibility, for example, WWE buying it. I don't think that would be very likely, but if WWE were to buy it, I'm sure the only reason they would mainly want it would be for like the library, like they've got with WCW, ECW now, is like the library, and they could put specials on Peacock with guys like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, who have had their start in Ring of Honor. Not really their start, but kind of their start on a national stage in Ring of Honor. But that would really be the only reason that I would see WWE wanting to purchase Ring of Honor or anything would be the video library. And it makes the most sense, would be because of the network specials, or here in the US, Peacock. But of course now DVDs aren't really a thing now. Mainly you go to Walmart or anywhere else, see WWE DVDs, it's really just the pay-per-views being released. They don't do any of the documentary DVDs or anything anymore. But that's all I really know for now. More should be coming out soon, I'm sure, about this. But let me know what you think. If you have any comments about Ring of Honor in the comment section of whichever podcast website you listen to this on. And also, you can feel free to email me your comments, what you think about it. 360wrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. And who knows, maybe I'll read your email on a future episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And some other quick news I want to go over real quick is Tommy Dreamer. He is now back on Busted Open Radio after that whole controversy with the Dark Side of the Ring episode about the plane ride of hell. He is now back on. He was on with Dave LaGreca today. And apparently Danhausen has now apparently gone from Ring of Honor, has dropped a tease of him maybe going to AEW. Well, this doesn't necessarily mean anything, but he was recently at the New York Comic Con, which featured a lot of AEW superstars. So, who knows? And tonight, just a little bit, only about 8 minutes or so, we have AEW Dynamite coming up on TNT, back on Wednesday nights. It's been a little bit, 2 weeks to be exact, since Dynamite has been on Wednesday night. But it is back on Wednesday night tonight. And that's all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Thank you for listening. whether you're listening to this on Spreaker or Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you can find podcasts. 360 Wrestling Podcast is there. Thank you, and stay tuned tomorrow to the new 360 Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel, an episode of Off Thursday, exclusive to YouTube, in which I have already said it was pre-recorded because I made a mistake and said Bound for Glory coming up this Saturday. So, just in case you catch that mistake, it's because it was pre-recorded. Spoiler alert there. And remember, you can like 360 Wrestling Podcast on Facebook, Twitter at 360 Wrestling Pod, Instagram, and like I mentioned earlier, the email 360 Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. Any questions, comments, suggestions? I just might read any emails on the air. Who knows? 360 Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. And also, if you can support 360 Wrestling Podcast, anchor.fm/360-wrestling-podcast 360. I usually post that in the description. If you can, it doesn't matter how much, just whatever you can do. Go to the Anchor page for 360 Wrestling Podcast, click support. It would really help the podcast grow and be better. So if you can, it would be very much appreciated. But if you don't want to, that's also good too. So that is all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hope to be back again real soon. But until then, I am Lance Brock. I am a wrestling fanatic.